Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Recruiting Podcast. I'm Alex Rojas, your talent advisor and host. In today's episode, it's all about complaining recruiters, how to turn around disgruntled, maybe fearful and fed up recruiting mindsets that are out there. Now, in the spirit of Thanksgiving week, I really want to focus on why we are seeing so many recruiters that are in this state of complaining all the time. It's kind of almost become chronic to a certain extent. It actually, from my perspective, it's really painful to kind of witness everybody just piling on and dumping on why it sucks to be in recruiting right now. I mean, you can look at a lot of podcasters out there and they're constantly on that same thread. They're complaining about everything. And then you have the other side of it. You have recruiters that actually aren't complaining, but they're just heads down right now. They're just doing their job and they're giving enough input, saying enough to keep their job, and they just want to fly under the radar. And of course, naturally, we're always going to have that top 1%, 5% group of people that are going to be your overachievers, your leaders, that are going to be the voice of recruiting, that are going to be stating some of the obvious things that they're seeing in recruiting. But here we are. We're in this place now for the last 18 months to 2 years in talent acquisition, and recruiters should be complaining. It's almost, again, that we should be entitled to complain. But I've also been saying here over the last couple of months now that I've seen a trend, a shift, a change, that more recruiters are getting hired. And it's tangible proof that I've shared in my previous episodes. But in this episode, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why recruiters are ticked off and why they feel entitled to complain. But I want you to stick around for my closing commentary, because I am going to give you the secret recipe, the ingredients that you need to stop recruiters from complaining. And that means you as a recruiter, how do you stop yourself from complaining? I'm going to go ahead and share that with you in the spirit of Thanksgiving. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Let's discuss. So let's kick this thing off. 5 reasons why recruiters are complaining, and justifiably so. Number 1 is the recruiter and candidate ghosting experience. That's right. It has become an epidemic of some sorts. There used to be a time where recruiters were very accustomed to candidates ghosting recruiters. Now the script has been flipped. And so now what we're seeing here is the recruiters are actually ghosting candidates. And they're ghosting candidates in a way that they actually engage with the candidate, go through the recruiting life cycle, may even go on an interview, and then crickets, the silent treatment. Candidates are pursuing recruiters, never to hear from them. And this has become a problem. It's only getting worse. And the reason why is because recruiters are inundated with a lot of activity, a lot of pressures, a lot of resumes to review. And so that's making it very difficult. But also the cycles in connecting and engaging and get a response from candidates from a recruiter's perspective. It used to be a time where you could reach out to a candidate and you could probably engage with a candidate within 3 to 6 touch points. Now it's probably more to 10 to 15 touch points. Recruiters just don't have enough time, enough bandwidth to deal with that. And so this has created this ghosting experience that has become very problematic, and it's a reason why recruiters are complaining. And then the second reason why recruiters are complaining is because quality of recruiting has been hijacked by the speed and the performance expectations. It's quality versus speed. There's a high pressure situation going on for a lot of recruiters, and recruiters have been experiencing not only personally, professionally, but also within their colleagues, their friends, an exorbitant amount of layoffs. There has been a slowdown in some of the growth revenues for a lot of the companies that they're working for. The lack of hiring recruiters, or just hiring in general within the industries or the verticals that they work in, has put a lot of pressure for them to produce more hires with less resources and less teammates. So of course now there's this higher sense of urgency to go ahead and just get as many candidates in so you can get your hires. And guess what suffers? Quality suffers. And recruiters complain about this because, again, it's a push-pull type of experience that ends up happening anytime you sacrifice quality for speed and performance results. So the third reason why recruiters are complaining is because of limited talent acquisition partnership. There is still a tug of war contest going on within talent acquisition, and it usually starts off at the top. It's your executive leadership, your C-level folks that start off at the top, and then it goes down below that. A lot of times it's the human resources leadership, and then there's the hiring managers, and then there's leaders within your organization, within talent acquisition. And then you have coworkers, you have different departments within organizations. Maybe it's compensation, maybe it's the sales and business development, maybe it's procurement, legal, you name it, it goes on and on and on. And so what happens here is that recruiters are finding themselves in a situation where they're being bombarded and looking around everywhere they turn, there's a tug of war going on. And so they're complaining about their environment, but they're still dealing with it at the best will that they can. And the fourth reason why recruiters are complaining, it has to do with fear when it comes to artificial intelligence. I mean, that has probably been a central theme this past year. There's still a lot of resistance for a lot of recruiters. And I've had a few episodes on really embracing AI technology, the tools, and what you can do as a recruiter to prepare for AI. But again, a lot of this fear comes in because there's so many generalities when it comes to AI. There's also complexities when it comes to a lot of the products and services and solutions that are out there. But the lack of knowledge and awareness is really limiting recruiters and talent acquisition leaders. Leaders are still not investing in the resources, in the tools, in the solutions that are out there. And we have to remove ourselves from this idea that artificial intelligence is going to take away jobs from recruiters, or that you still need a human interface interaction with candidates. Of course you do. It's always going to be a blend between AI and being human-centric. And we have to get over that hump, stop debating it, stop pushing it, stop resisting it, and instead embrace it. And the fifth reason why recruiters are complaining, it has to do with lack of career growth. I mean, recruiting has to be one of the most stagnant professions in any industry. I mean, imagine you as a recruiter starting off as a full life cycle recruiter. Maybe you're in your 20s. You start off and you fast forward 10, 15, 20 years later, and guess what? You're still a full life cycle recruiter. And that's the reality of career growth within talent acquisition. You either go down the leadership management track or you become a lifelong full life cycle recruiter. Talent acquisition has done a horrible job in advancing the recruiting and sourcing models and the roles and the functions that are out there. There needs to be a new evolution and an enhancement when it comes to incorporating technology and the business model that is TA. So there you have it, the 5 reasons why recruiters are complaining. So how are we going to get recruiters from stop complaining? Because justifiably so, this industry, the talent acquisition industry, has been rocked over the last 18 months to 2 years. And this part of my closing commentary mindset, I want to give you one word that I believe can stop complaining for recruiters. Perspective. It's all about perspective. Just like in life, it's what you make of it. You're either a victim or you're an opportunist or you're a conqueror, or you look at the glass as half empty or half full. Right now, a lot of recruiters are flying under the radar. They're hiding behind their work. They're hiding behind, I just need to fill jobs and I'll keep my job. Their professional opinion, recommendations, and inputs have really been diminished over the last year to 2 years. The lack of creativity that we're seeing out there when it comes to brainstorming, collaborating, engaging, participating with teammates, it's almost been like a virus. It's spreading. And it's what we need to do is change that tide. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, what we need to do, we come together as family and as friends, and we kind of have this thankfulness heart, this mindset of being thankful for where we are today. And for us as recruiters, that's really what we want to do. We want to come into this space in the season that we're in Thanksgiving and have gratitude about how we have impacted lives. The work that we do as recruiters is we give opportunities for people and their families, their lives, their homes, their community. We build a support system for them. We can find a lot of joy in the work and the profession that we do, and we can optimistically look at the future as it unfolds. We have just gotten through one of the most critical and pivotal moments in our history when it comes to these elections. These elections are now behind us, and the market conditions are changing and adapting and reacting. And there is hope again right now. There is hope for us as recruiters that better days are ahead of us. I hope this episode was informative. Please remember to like, to subscribe, and to comment, and to share. It continues to help the Mindset Recruiting Podcast grow. And remember, until next time, it's all about the mindset.